Alright, welcome back to more Ignorance in Basketball. Now, I just got another email from YouTube. And they wanted me to tell you guys that if you like the video and subscribe to the channel, you'll be able to pick your height. So, if you don't love your height, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I'm just the messenger. You have the information, you do with it what you choose to do with it. Now, as promised, I watched the Suns-Utah game. Obviously, the Suns did not win, but that does not mean that this was a loss, because obviously, it's preseason. These games don't mean shit, and it's the deep of the bench, people who probably won't even be playing, so who gives a shit? But these games are still important, especially for the Suns, because there's a lot of new people, and there's a lot of things that I want to look at and speculate over, because I'm dramatic. So let's go over what I noticed. First thing, obviously, let's get the obvious shit out the way. Chris Paul didn't play, Crowder didn't play, and Sarge didn't play. Now Sarge, I don't really care about because he's familiar with the team, but the main thing I wanted to look at was the Chris Paul run offense. I wanted to see how he was going to play, I wanted to see how the Devin Booker, Chris Paul backcourt was going to work out. I wanted to see how the DeAndre Ayton and Chris Paul situation, I wanted to see all that shit. Didn't get to, all good, we have time. But, I just wanted to, obviously, that was the main thing I wanted to look out for. Didn't get to see that quite yet, maybe on Monday, hopefully on Monday. But, not a big deal. Let's get into some positives. So, even though Chris Paul wasn't running the offense, I don't think the offense looked bad. Now, obviously, there's some, turnovers and some sloppy shit. Just typical preseason stuff. But it doesn't alarm me because the ball movement did look good. There wasn't a lot of stagnant offense like you would see in a lot of teams. The ball was moving around a lot. People were getting open looks, and I didn't really see a lot of people forcing things, so that's always a positive sign, especially this early on in the season. Things could have gotten ugly, especially when your starting point guard isn't playing, and the backup point guard wasn't great, but I'll talk about that later. But yeah, it was very fluid offense. It could have been better. Obviously, you got to tighten some things up, but it didn't look bad. So that was one good thing. Second, Ayton, I like his decision making. Now, he needs to tighten up the defense a little bit. He got into a little bit of foul trouble, and it's like, if you're getting into foul trouble with Rudy Gobert, somebody who has as much offensive talent as I do, like, that's a bit alarming. Even though most of the fouls weren't from like Rudy Gobert necessarily trying to score, but still, I think you guys can get where I'm going with this. But these are the things that I like that he did. Number one, he picks his spots well. So when Rudy Gobert was guarding him, I didn't see him trying to get into the post and get it and all that shit. It's like, dude, I hate when I see centers that try to force a post up. It's ugly and it's sad. So stop doing it. I'm glad he didn't do that. So he was playing smart. So if he had a mismatch, he would take them in the post. Even Derek Favors, who isn't the smallest guy, he would post him up. He only played 22 minutes, and that's a 22 minutes without Chris Paul. But so he wasn't super aggressive on offense, but like I said, he was picking his spots well. So if he had anyone smaller than a center on him, he would take him in the post. And if Rudy Gobert was guarding him, he had the space to shoot the mid-range, which he's actually good at and he was making today. So I'm all for that. I think that's like the perfect kind of center for this team. Secondly, okay, I was going to talk about this last, but let me just bring this up because I think I'm actually going to make its own video about this tomorrow. Mikal is going to be a problem, and I mean that in a good way. He's not just a typical 3-and-D type of player. He can run pick and rolls. He's got a little bit of a fade, like a little bit of a post like fadeaway game. He's got touch. He can shoot. He's a great defender. He's actually good. He's not just like a typical like a Ariza or like a, no disrespect, or like a What's the guy on Houston? What's his fucking name? I can't think of his name. I'll put it in the editing thing. This guy. He's better than that. He's actually skilled. I didn't know that. My bad. People were trying to tell me, and now I see what they mean. So he's going to be a problem. I think he's actually going to have a really good year this year. Better than I was expecting. Now, the Etuan Moore and Galloway, I think they're going to be huge additions this year. And I do mean huge. I think those are going to be the keys to the bench. You could possibly have Crowder, Moore, and Galloway coming off the bench. That's pretty solid. I mean, those are three guys who shoot like 38 to 40% from three. And that's what I was talking about in my first Suns video. It's like, we may not have Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, but if you have like 5 or 6, maybe even 7 guys who can shoot above like 37%, that's pretty crazy. I mean, that means any guy can go off for like 15 and a quarter. Not a lot of teams have that. So that's something to definitely look out for. That's something I'm really excited about. Cameron Payne. Let's just get into the negatives now. Holy shit. He was terrible. I looked it up. He was minus 20. Now, I'm not a big believer in the plus minus thing because there's so many things that could factor it in. He earned his negative 20 was valid today because I watched every damn dribble of that game, and he was the only player on the Suns that was pissing me off. He just, every time he came in the game, they would just start losing. And it was because of him. Now, he played the most. I think he had like 8 points. Yeah, he played 30 minutes. He had 8 points, 4 assists, and 6 rebounds. And he was 0% from 3 and 40% from the field. Now, I know it's unfair to judge somebody from one preseason game during a pandemic. I know that's irrational, but as you'll know if you continue to watch the show, is that I'm an emotional fan. Alright? So take what I'm saying with a grain of salt. But as of right now, I'm fucking glad that they have Etuan Moore and Galloway and Javon Carter to eat up some of those Cameron Payne minutes, because if the Suns are trying to win anything in the playoffs, that shit is not gonna get it done. So that was a terrible performance, but it's all good. We'll move on. Not a big deal. Speaking of Javon Carter, even though he couldn't buy a fucking basket, love everything he did today. This is I'll sum up his performance in a sentence or 2 or 3. If you're guarding somebody full court in a preseason game, the first preseason game of the season, you're already in my top 5 favorite players of all time. Nobody does that shit. Nobody's grinding like that. Love it. Love to see it. And his shot looks good. I mean, it did last year too, but I think he's gonna surprise some people as far as scoring goes. I think he could be possibly Javon Carter 50, 40, 90 guy. Think about that. I think that might happen this year. I really do. People might call me crazy. Does it still count as a 50, 40, 90 guy if you average like 10 points a game? You decide. All right, let's get into the rookie, Jalen Smith. Now, I didn't see a whole lot from him. I mean, I wanted to see more minutes. He only played 18. Now, from what I saw, it looked like he was doing okay. I mean, obviously, I'm not a fucking coach, so I don't really know what he's messing up on that much. But, hey, at least he scored. I saw people that didn't even score, so this is what I saw from him. 1, it looks like he's pretty athletic and mobile. 2, he's definitely not afraid to shoot, and his shot does look good. Now, I don't know what his percentage was. I mean, this is just from watching. I feel like he was probably like 1 for 3 or something like that. But he hit his first 2 shots, which, is impressive to me. So I know he got a lot of shit for the Suns picking him so early, and I might do a video about that another day. I'm not really a big college basketball fan, so it's not like I know that much about them, but you know, the internet is a powerful tool, so I'm not sure yet. But I'm optimistic about Jalen Smith. I don't know how many minutes he's going to be getting, because they have Cameron Johnson, Crowder. Even Mikal could play the 4 a little bit. They have Saric, so it's like they have a lot of people. But yeah, I don't know how vital of a role he's going to have in the team this year, but I think he could be a decent player. So is he going to be fucking Michael Jordan? Probably not. But, you know, I don't think he deserved all the shit that he got from what I saw, because I've seen all these players, number 1 pick, LiAngelo, like they didn't look great in their first game. I would say Jalen looked better than them. So far, so good. And I think that's it. So if you made it to the end of this video, I do appreciate it. I'm gonna have more of a structured video tomorrow, something I'm actually a little bit excited to make. I haven't really known what the fuck to do these past like 3-4 days, so I've just been kind of winging it. But yeah, let me know what you guys want to do. I was thinking about maybe later on, like once the season, maybe like midway through the season, I'll start like live streaming the games. Now legally, I don't know how that shit works. I don't know, I'll have to like you sync it up with me and I'll just like do my reactions. I don't know, I feel like that's kind of lame. Let me know what you guys want to do, or if you guys have any ideas of stuff like that, because I think it would be kind of fun if we could like watch the games together. I just don't know exactly how to go about that, but you know, if that's something you guys want to do, I'll figure it out. Yeah, and I think that's it. So I'll see you guys tomorrow with the Mikal video. And remember, the height situation. If you feel comfortable with your height, all good. Just leave a like anyway. Keep it the same. That's all I got for today. See you guys tomorrow. Peace out.